Here to discuss Fox News legal editor, Kerri Urbahn. Kerri, good to see you, my friend.
Good morning.
So, we went back into the Wayback Machine, and we found two examples of we saw someone with our cameras crossing the border illegally, and they're pregnant. Now, we don't know their motivations, but that used to be a thing in our country that we've prevented from happening.
Yeah, look, and just in 2024, so this is a couple of years ago, a husband and wife were sentenced to 41 months in prison for operating really a birthright tourism business where they would help women fraudulently obtain visas. They'd come over here, they'd put them up in a house. This is a known thing actually in California and Florida. There are known hotels in Beverly Hills, for instance, that will house Chinese women who come over here solely for the purpose of having a child on our soil so they become citizens and they go back to China. It's obviously a scam, and it's meant to exploit our 14th Amendment. And so there are already existing laws on the books that the Department of Justice has been using to crack down on this. In fact, right after the Supreme Court handed down their decision, DOJ put out a memo saying how they were going to really be enforcing these laws that already exist. And one of the simplest ways of doing that is this, these fraudulent obtaining of visas. And the way you know that is the purpose. When a person, lies about the reason that they're in the country, and if it's to have a child, then that's a crime. And so I think DOJ has already been looking at that and seeking to have a more heavy-handed approach with respect to this area of law.
And to your point, that is already on the books right now. They can enforce that. This is the ACLU. This is what they had to say. The Supreme Court already decided this issue. Birthright citizenship is guaranteed by Constitution. No additional executive order can change the meaning of the Constitution. Any executive order that tries to rewrite birthright citizenship will be met with the same fate as the last one. I will say this. The court did rule on this, but they did leave a pathway. And it's interesting that the Congress is not taking them up on that, because what the justices really said is that the path to getting rid of this, if this is truly a problem, and many of the justices believe that it is through Congress passing legislation.
That's right. It was only a 5-4 loss, which is very tight, on the constitutional question. And Brett Kavanaugh wrote separately, and even though he agreed with the majority that birthright citizenship as it is should remain the law of the land, he didn't say it was because it was unconstitutional. He said it was because of this statute that exists. And he said, look, if Congress wants to change the statute, that's a whole different situation. And it's the tool that's at issue, is what he was saying, not the constitutional question itself. Now, look, I do think that some of the expansions of the categories in this EO will probably likely be challenged in court. The ACLU put out that statement. Of course, they're going to. They always do, right? But, they are expanding the definition of currently birthright citizenship does not extend to ambassadors' families. Now, they extended this in the EO to basically ambassador staff. Birthright citizenship does not apply to invading armies. That's in the Constitution. That's right. So they're expanding that to FTOs. So we know that the Trump administration has designated Tren de Aragua and MS-13 as foreign terrorist organizations. So what they're saying in this EO is that children born to those gang members, essentially, who live here on our soil, would not be children. Would not be U.S. citizens. And so I foresee those kinds of challenges going up in court, and we'll see what happens there.
Meanwhile, my home state of Texas has the first detransition clinic for minors. Texas Children's Hospital must open the country's first detransition clinic by October and pay $10 million. And now those privileges of those doctors have been permanently revoked as well. What do you make of this?
Yeah, it's a remarkable settlement. Putting the $10 million in penalties aside, the fact that as part of the settlement, Texas Children's Hospital has to create, operate, build the first of its kind detransition clinic in the country that anyone 21 years and younger can go to and reverse the procedures that they've underwent or the drugs that they've taken, and that they can go back to really embracing their biological sex. It's quite significant. And the details behind this were pretty bad. You had a whistleblower nurse who was observing doctors after Texas cracked down on these gender treatments and surgeries for minors, saying, hey, look, if we find out that you're doing this in your hospitals, we're going to investigate it as child abuse. That's what Ken Paxton said at the time. So the hospital, this particular system, put out a statement saying, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. I think this was around 2022. This nurse observed that, in fact, doctors at the hospital were continuing to prescribe these hormones and puberty blockers to minors. And the way they were doing it was by falsifying their medical records and saying that they were a different sex. Yeah, and not only were they falsifying the records in order to give them the drugs they weren't supposed to be giving them, they were then falsely billing Medicaid and other, and so basically they were lying and stealing from taxpayers in order to push children through these life-altering procedures. It's a pretty big deal. And so this settlement is historic, and I think it's particularly meaningful for all of the children who went through these processes and really regret it now. And now there's some hope they can go back to this clinic and maybe reverse and go back to their biological sex as it is.
By the way, Kerri, the data on the amount of kids when they become adults that want to detransition is stunning. That is never talked about when we're talking about the transition that is happening, but I think people should check it out. I wish we had more time. It's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Lawrence.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.